This is the Gerry Callahan Show.
3 hours. 3 hours. 180 minutes. That's how long Hunter Biden, the crackhead son of the former president, ranted and raved and seethed and screamed and swore and settled all the family business. This was just epic. All I have to say is keep going, Hunter. This was the most entertaining thing we've seen. I've seen some people nominate Hunter to be the replacement for Stephen Colbert. I like that idea. Others, serious people, journalists, Miranda Devine, Clay Travis, and others, say this was Hunter Biden's kickoff to his presidential campaign in 2028. Yes, among the many other insane things the first crackhead said was, if he were to run for president, here's what he would do. Of course, he followed it up with his first proposal, invading El Salvador with the U.S. military to bring all the illegal alien gangbangers back to America. You think that's crazy? That's just the start, man. This was so insane. I think I got lots of thoughts, lots of observations here. I think he was speaking for the former president. We know Joe Biden can't do this anymore. He could barely do it when he was younger, but obviously he's incapable of going out there and speaking and settling the scores. So he's going to have his son. This is the smartest man Joe Biden knows. That's what he said. This is a man who has done, as we've seen from the laptop, he's trafficked in young girls. He's done drugs. He's taken money from foreign countries. He's the ultimate degenerate, low-life piece of garbage. But it doesn't matter because he was Joe's closest advisor, and he knows what Joe is thinking and what Jill is thinking. And I can't help but think they watched this and they were thrilled. This is what they want to do. They are bitter. They are angry. They want to get this message out there that they were betrayed, that they were stabbed in the back by everybody. Here's a quick rundown before we get to all the sound, and we have it, and it's unfiltered, and it is just incredible. From Bad Hombre on X, he writes, in the span of 3 hours, Hunter Biden this is true, gave step-by-step instructions on how to cook crack. Yes, I learned something I never knew, how to make crack and how it's safe and not that bad for you, according to Hunter Biden. Although, looking at him, I don't think it's particularly healthy. He trashed Nancy Pelosi and claimed she secretly hates Kamala. He told Nancy Pelosi's daughter to go F herself. He said Joe Biden was strung out on Ambien during the disastrous Trump debate. He blamed Obama, David Axelrod, Pod Save America, and George Clooney for staging a coup against his father. He admitted his family relies on illegal alien slave labor. He threatened to invade El Salvador to retrieve gang members who aren't even Americans. He confessed the Russian disinformation laptop was his and said, hey, everybody has a laptop. He claimed Israel allowed the October 7th attack to justify invading Gaza. That's not even in the top 10 of the craziest things he said. He defended cheating on his taxes. This is your candidate in 2028. Yes, I think Democrats have finally found a leader, a guy people will listen to, a guy who's fearless, who uses lots of swear words. They love those now. Democrats love those. Who's delivering the message for Democrats. So I got the ticket in 2028. Crackhead and Crockett. Hunter and Jasmine Crockett. There is your ticket, Democrats. Go for it. These are two fearless fighters for your side. These are two aggressive, outspoken voices. This is what you've been looking for, Democrats. This is what you've been hoping for. Somebody to step up. You got it right here. Who would you rather see run? Who would you rather see on the debate stage, Hunter or Kamala? Hunter or Buttigieg? I mean, let's be honest. This guy commands your attention. And right now, I predict he's watching the reaction to his interview yesterday with some guy named Andrew Callahan, who I've never heard of, no relation, spells it wrong. But somehow Andrew Callahan got Hunter to sit there for 3 hours. I'm not sure if they took any, crack breaks or I'm not sure how he did it, but he just went off. He does not appear well. He does not appear balanced or well adjusted at this point. He just went off the rails. And I think he speaks for the whole family here. I think this is what they wanted. They are angry and bitter. And here's the guy who's going to deliver the message. And it was epic. Let's get to it. I don't even know where to begin. Ironhead, get me my favorite cut. Get me cut 4. This is his idea. If he were to be president, and according to lots of people, he's thinking about it. He's always talked about a career in politics. Beau Biden, his brother, who died of a brain tumor 6 years after leaving Iraq, and his father repeatedly lied about that. Beau Biden was the logical successor, a well-respected guy, a successful politician in Delaware. He was supposed to be the next guy who carried the torch in the Biden family. He passed away, so the baton was passed to Hunter. So Hunter has been talking and thinking about going into politics for a long time. And here he is talking about when he is president, what he will do about all the illegal aliens who are now being held in CCOT, the big Supermax prison in El Salvador. These people aren't Americans. They were never Americans. Many of them are from El Salvador, and they're in prison in El Salvador. But Hunter has a plan to get them back into your neighborhood. Check this out.
But these guys think that we need to run away from all values in order for us to lead. I say, fuck you. How are we getting those people back from fucking El Salvador? Because I'll tell you what, if I became president in 2 years from now, or 4 years from now, or 3 years from now, I would pick up the phone and call the fucking president of El Salvador and say, you either fucking send them back or I'm going to fucking invade. It's a fucking crime what they're doing. He's a fucking dictator thug.
Bukele or Trump?
Both.
Yeah. The craziest thing to me, especially interviewing migrants and like.
So Bukele and Trump are dictator thugs, and he's going to invade to get the illegals back that we sent there. And they're all bad hombres. They're all dangerous people. They're all Tren de Aragua or MS-13. They're murderers and child molesters, and drug dealers. He wants to invade our ally to bring them back to this country and set them free. I like it. I think that's an honest Democrat right now. That's what they all think. They all want them back here because they're Democrat. Illegals are Democrats' top priority. That's who they value the most. And here's Hunter making the case for keeping illegals, letting more illegals in because Democrats need the cheap labor, the slave labor. This is the same argument we've heard from many Democrats. They want to bring back the plantations. They need someone to pick the cotton. Here's Hunter making the case. And again, he's being honest here. This is what all Democrats think. This is what Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer and Liz Warren, they all believe this. Karen Bass has said as much. We can't run the city of LA without cheap illegal alien labor. But here's Hunter articulating the case.
For someone, am I going to be like all these Democrats say, you have to talk about and realize that people are really upset about illegal immigration. Fuck you. How do you think your hotel room gets cleaned? How do you think you got food on your fucking table? Who do you think washes your dishes? Who do you think does your fucking garden? Who do you think is here by the fucking sheer fucking just grit and will that they figured out a way to get here because they thought that they could give themselves and their family a better chance. And he's somehow convinced all of us that these people are the fucking criminals?
We need that. We need him to carry that message. We need all the Democrats on the stage in 2028 to echo that same sentiment that they want illegals here to to wash their dishes and clean their hotel rooms and tend to their gardens. They can't They don't want to pay. They don't want to pay Americans. They don't want to pay, high school kids, college kids in the summer to do those jobs. That's how it used to be done. But since the invasion, we've given those jobs to illegals because they'll do it cheaper, as we've learned from the various raids at work sites, as we learned in Los Angeles, where they were relying on illegal aliens to pick their marijuana. They're not picking cotton. They're picking marijuana, including children. That just happened 2 weeks ago, where they raided marijuana farms and found children working side by side with child molesters in these marijuana farms. And Democrats are defending it. We need these people. We can't pay Americans to do these jobs. That costs too much. We need that permanent underclass, that slave labor class. He doesn't even know what he's saying at that point. I can't believe, I know they believe that, but I can't believe they're going to say that out loud. We need cheap foreign migrants to do the crappy jobs because they do it cheap. And what are we going to do without them? Hunter actually said that he's been sober since 2019. I'm not sure. I initially said he's bitter, he's angry because they must have deported his dealer. But as many people pointed out, doesn't look like they deported his dealer. If they did, he must have found another one. Maybe they deported his pimp, the one who got all those underage escorts for him that we saw on the laptop. And he also dismissed the report of the laptop and says, "Hey, everyone has a laptop with their personal information on it. I'm no different." And he said, there's just so much here. He said he blamed the laptop repair shop owner who took ownership of the laptop because he left it after 6 months. That's the rule. He said he should have gone to bars around town in Delaware looking for Hunter to get his laptop back. That was the job of the laptop owner, to go around to all the seedy bars in Wilmington, Delaware, looking for Hunter to give him his property back. But let's get to his rant about the people who betrayed Dad. He blames everybody, obviously. George Clooney, Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, the Pod Save America guys, you name it. He's lashing out at all of them. This is where I think he's speaking. This is Joe Biden behind the scenes. When he has a lucid moment, when he's on the beach in Delaware, this is what he says about all the people who shivved him in the back. Of course, we don't get the real truth about what happened in the days after he said, "I'm staying in the race," until the day he pulled out. We don't get all the truth. We're still waiting for the truth. But Hunter places the blame squarely on the leader, he calls her, Nancy Pelosi, and goes off on Nancy, goes off on Nancy's daughter, and everybody who supported Joe Biden's decision to step down, hand the reins to Kamala Harris. But I don't think we're going to hear the end. I don't think this is the end of it. I think these are vindictive, awful, nasty people, the Bidens. They're going to make it their mission. Again, I'm not sure how much time Joe has left, but Jill and Hunter and their circle of family and friends are going to make it their mission to get their revenge. Here's where it begins. Yesterday on this crazy podcast. Go ahead.
Opinions, but fuck him, and everybody around him. I don't have to be fucking nice. Number one, I agree with Quentin Tarantino. Fucking George Clooney is not a fucking actor. He is a fucking, I don't know what he is. He's a brand. And by the way, and God bless him. You know what? He supposedly treats his friends really well. You know what I mean? Buys them things. And he's got a really great place in Lake Como. And he's great friends with Barack Obama. Fuck you. What do you have to do with fucking anything? Why do I have to fucking listen to you? What right do you have to step on a man who's given 52 years of his fucking life to the service of this country and decide that you, George Clooney, are going to take out basically a full-page ad in the fucking New York Times me and James Carville, who hasn't run a race in 40 fucking years, and David Axelrod, who had one success in his political life, and that was Barack Obama. And that was because of Barack Obama, not because of fucking David Axelrod. And David Plouffe, and all of these guys, and the Pod Save America guys, who were junior fucking speechwriters on Barack Obama's Senate staff, who have been dining out on the relationship with him for years, making millions of dollars. the Anita Dunns of the world, who's made $40-50 million off the Democratic Party. They're all going to insert their judgment over a man who has figured out, unlike anybody else, how to get elected to the United States Senate over 7 times, how to pass more legislation than any president in history, how to have a better midterm election than anybody in history, and how to garner more votes than any president that has ever run. And they're going to replace their judgment for his.
Not to mention,
who's Jake Tapper's audience? Jake Tapper,
my mom or something. I don't know.
well, I don't know.
Yeah.
For real though, I don't even think it's your mom anymore.
No.
By the numbers, what influence does Jake Tapper have over anything? He has the smallest audience on cable news, and beyond that, I think that the book is right now on Amazon that he put out. I mean, his ratings just went to shit after he put the book out. You know, they did a 2-week infomercial for it. I mean, it was such a money grab, such a disservice to everybody that he serves with.
I love that so much. He's criticizing someone for a money grab. This is a man who spent the last, 7-8 years traveling the globe, grabbing money, using dad, selling out this country to our adversaries. But even better is him ripping the Pod Save America guys for hitching their wagon to Obama and making millions. People, without any talent or any value, just using their connection to a Democrat president to make millions. Gee, who does that sound like? That sound like anyone we know? Hunter, you absolute lunatic. Oh, let's not forget, this is a guy with a Yale law degree who's never had a real job, who couldn't hold a real job, who joined the Navy at age 40 and was kicked out in a matter of days for flunking a drug test, for using coke. He only got in the Navy because his father used the connections to get him a waiver because he was so old. And then as soon as he got in, he got out because he was on drugs. And one other thing, when he talks about, Republicans, how they treat illegal aliens and Hispanics and who've come into this country, how we need them, how we should appreciate them. When he got busted for the gun that his girlfriend threw in the trash bin right near the high school, and then the Secret Service went to the gun dealer, tried to take all the forms to cover up for him. When that all went down, you know what he told the cops? He said he saw a couple of Hispanic guys near that trash bin. He tried to blame Hispanics when he got busted for using a gun. He's just the ultimate ne'er-do-well, just the ultimate schemer and scammer and drug-addled loser who's now become the spokesman, the voice of the Democrat Party. I'm not sure Nancy Pelosi or Chucky Schumer or Hakeem Jeffries can be too happy with this. They're they have a 19% approval rating, and now we have some serious infighting among the power brokers in the party. This guy was Biden's top advisor. He was, according to all the books, he had Biden's ear, this drug-addled lunatic. There was so much more. We got an explanation on the debate, by the way, on the disastrous debate which led to his pulling out of the race. He says he traveled the equivalent of 3 times around the world and then took Ambien. Didn't say whether it was the day of the debate or the night before, but he was in an Ambien haze, which I guess makes as much sense as anything. But it's a lie. He didn't travel. He took 2 weeks off. He went to Camp David for a week to prep for that debate. I guess maybe he took too much Ambien. Maybe that is the explanation. But he pointed out that, yeah, Joe Biden was old. We watched him get old, but he gave 50 years of service to this country. God, I hate that. Joe Biden got rich. He got famous. He got powerful. It had nothing to do with public service. I hate when they pretend that is somehow like joining the military and going to combat, that you were in the Senate for 35 years and you were in the White House for 12 years. That's not public service. That's a guy who got rich and famous and overachieved in every way. Joe Biden's a halfwit. He's a dummy. He's a corrupt guy who was in it for himself. And now his son wants you to believe, yeah, he was just serving the public. He lashed out at just about everybody, including Elon Musk, a guy who, by the way, has achieved so much. He's the ultimate overachiever, our greatest entrepreneur, our greatest capitalist, inventor, innovator, and this loser who's never had a job is blasting Elon Musk and saying he came to the country illegally. We have number 2. Here is Hunter on Elon.
And are the incredible beneficiaries of that new blood that enters our bloodstream year after year after year. The only thing that makes us different from fucking China or Russia or anywhere else or Europe or anywhere, and the only reason that I believe that we as America are different beyond the fact of the idea of the Constitution, the idea that we represent is immigration. And I can't even believe sometimes I'm having this discussion with anybody. How do you think that we are reborn every generation? How do you think that we attract the smartest people in the world to the United States of America? Through immigration. I mean, you sit here and just think about it. You got some motherfucker who's made over $251 billion being a United States citizen that got here and stayed here illegally before he got his citizenship, sitting here lecturing us on who we should allow into the United States of America and giving us a fucking Heil Hitler along the way. Are you fucking kidding me?
And talking about how gay.
Oh, that is amazing. That the only thing that makes us different from China and Europe, he says, is illegal immigration. He doesn't say illegal, but that's what he means, illegal immigration. His father let in between 15 and 20 million illegals in an attempt to change the electorate, to attempt to bring in future Democrat voters to help to help Democrats maintain the number of seats they have in the House. And his explanation is that makes America great. We'll get to the latest on illegal immigration in this country. The latest of the folks Joe Biden let into the country, the smartest people in the world. That's what legal immigration does. I don't even know if he knows the difference. He's not a particularly bright man. He's obviously not very, not exactly well kept at this point. But I guarantee you, Hunter went home from this, saw the reaction on social media, on cable news, and said, I kicked ass. I nailed it. And now he's going to do it again. Get ready. I guarantee he's got a bunch of invites in his inbox. Why don't you send him one, Ironhead? See if he wants to come on here. I won't keep him for 3 hours. I can't believe this went for 3 hours. I saw a lot of highlights, a lot of clips. 3 hours?
As long as we're done before Rob starts, we'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll keep it short, Hunter. We'll just let you go. Let you go. Make your case for the nomination, the Democrat nomination in 2028. He doesn't actually defend his father's mental cognitive condition. He talks about, he got old, he slowed down. He admits the debate was a disaster. He says his father loved Kamala, and that's the only person he wanted to take the top of the ticket, which obviously didn't work out for Democrats. But he's like the only one he didn't lash out against was Kamala. But he did say Nancy Pelosi hates her. She orchestrated the coup, removed Joe, installed Kamala, but he said Nancy hates Kamala. But he's going to keep going. He is just feeling good, and he's feeling like he settled a lot of scores. So I'm looking forward to it. That's the first Democrat who's got any real attention. I mean, Jasmine Crockett or AOC, they say crazy things, and God knows Kami Mandami is getting some attention in New York City. But national Democrat figures, this is it. This is the guy. This is the one delivering the message for the party. So I think maybe I thought it was crazy when I heard Miranda Devine say he is running in 2028. You think he could raise money? I guess he could go to China, go to Ukraine, go to Romania. He's done it before. Raise money. I mean, God knows he'll cheat any way possible, but that will be so wild. The day he announces, I'm running. He'll be in Delaware. He'll have all the Biden cronies around him, and he'll say he's running. And I guess all the dirt we have seen on him, that's out in the open, so he's got nothing to hide.
That actually leads us to the last clip, that dirt.
Except his youngest daughter. He wants to hide her. He doesn't want contact with her. I mean, the dirt, they're just the sordid details of his life. I mean, the guy went to court to stop a paternity test. Then when they found out it was his kid, he went to court again to stop her from using his name. That's the kind of scumbag we're talking about. Let's hear one more from the first crackhead. Go ahead.
No. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Well, because they think cocaine, Scarface, very cool.
Yeah.
Crack cocaine, they think The Wire.
oh, in that sense, oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like they don't know how similar the chemical compounds are.
Well, the only difference between crack cocaine and cocaine is sodium bicarbonate and water and heat. Literally, That's it.
And those things are pretty much free if you go to like a science store.
This is free. You can go to your neighborhood convenience store and just get. Anyway, I don't want to tell people how to make crack cocaine, but it literally is a mayonnaise jar, cocaine, and baking soda.
How different is the experience?
It's vastly, vastly different. And like for real, I feel really reluctant to kind of have some euphoric discussion. I know you're not asking me to do that, but have some euphoric discussion about crack cocaine.
I think this might be kind of the opposite here.
Okay, no, it's the exact opposite. I'm saying I don't want to have the experience of some euphoric recall. That's how powerful crack cocaine is. Does crack cocaine make you act any differently? No. Is it safer than alcohol? Probably. People think of crack as being dirty. It's the exact opposite. When you make crack, what you're doing is you're burning off all the impurities so that it combines with the sodium bicarbonate, which makes it smokable. That's all. You know, all of these actors and, you know, people in the past that talked about they had a problem with cocaine and freebasing. They were smoking crack.
So straw on the stove is the same thing.
Not exactly, but close to it. But it's a little bit different. But anyway.
It's a smart guy.
I never knew that. You burn off all the impurities in cocaine when you do crack. So it sounds pretty safe and healthy, and it's better for you than alcohol, according to Jim.
I was going to have myself a Miller Lite tonight, but I guess
I never knew it was so easy. I know. All I need is a little bicarbonate soda and a lighter, and I can make crack cocaine. Somewhere out there in America today, someone said, wow, I didn't know it was that easy. Let me give it a try. If Hunter could do it, I could do it. And it's a euphoric high, and you don't act any differently than when you're sober, according to Hunter. I'm not sure how he would know. I'm not sure the last time he's been sober. I would be shocked if they made him pee in a cup right there and he didn't have like 6 or 7 different illicit substances in his system. But there is the son of the former president. There's the last president's closest advisor, the man Joe Biden called the smartest man I know, a Yale Law School grad, explaining to America how to make crack and pointing out the benefits of his drug of choice. And he was almost reluctant to do it. And then he said, what the hell? I'll do it. I'm telling you, this is the most honest Democrat we have right now. He's just holding nothing back. Here's how to do it. If you don't want all those impurities when you do coke, just get yourself a lighter and some baking soda, and you can do what I did for the last 30 years. You can get high out of your mind and just let loose. All right, that was just incredible. And you know what? Again, we haven't seen the last of him. He's feeling it. He's feeling good right now. So I expect him to keep it up. He's going to go on tour, and it's going to just be so wild. All right, speaking of wild, the aftermath of the Colbert firing is just so telling. It's so revealing. Here's what everybody, politicians, fellow comedians, late night hosts are saying, that you should be able to do a show where you lose $40 to $50 million a year. You should be able to do that as long as you criticize Trump. That's the way, that's their stance right now. Losing $40 to $50 million a year for the public company that you work for is okay, as long as you hate Trump. It is and the people who are most vociferously defending Colbert are the ones who are next, we're hoping, who are also losing millions, but also think they deserve to keep their job because they hate Trump. We'll get to all the reaction to the Colbert firing, and more. But first,
Excuse me.
if you've ever searched for your name or address on Google, it's shocking to find how many results have your personal information, and it's not by chance. Data brokers and people search sites, collect your personal information, your name, address, phone number, financial info, income, and hundreds of other records. They sell it and share it publicly without your consent. But Incogni is here to put an end to that. It hunts down these unethical sites and gets your info removed from the places that expose your private information. You don't have to email anyone, fill out forms, or jump through hoops. They handle the entire process for you. Incogni is also continually monitoring if your data is put back into these databases, requesting repeated removals. This way, it keeps them off there forever. So you get fewer spam calls, spam emails, and you get more peace of mind. And best of all, you can cancel anytime, and they offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can get it completely risk-free. Right now, you get 60% off an annual plan by going to incogni.com and use code word Callahan. That's incogni, incogni.com/Callahan, and use the code word Callahan at checkout. You get 60% off and protect your data for an entire year. I just checked. I have baking soda and I have a lighter. All I need is some Coke, and I can make crack. And
I'm on my way, Jerry. I'll be right there.
Well, I can enjoy the health benefits of crack. It's safer than alcohol. You know, you're right. I was going to have a beer, but what the hell? I don't want to. That's so unhealthy. I'm just going to fire up the crack pipe.
Yeah, I don't want to act different, so I'll do crack.
All right, on Joe Biden's first day in office in 2017, he shut down the Keystone XL pipeline, put 11,000 blue-collar workers, good-paying jobs, put them out of work. During COVID, they shut down tens of thousands of small businesses, put millions of people out of work. They kicked 7,000 people out of the military because they wouldn't take the useless vax. It was this was routine, daily basis, tens of thousands of layoffs during the Biden term, and obviously during COVID. The media never gave a damn. Democrats never gave a damn. They didn't cry for these people. They didn't feel bad. They didn't say, that's just so cruel and unnecessary. It's vengeful. You're firing people who don't want to take a vaccine. That's crazy. Democrats didn't care. But this was a bridge too far. Firing a late night host. I'm hesitant to call him a comedy or comedian because he's not. He's, as Matt Walsh pointed out, he's a more feminine version of Rachel Maddow. That's what he is. He's like Maddow, only more feminine. He's just an angry Democrat, Trump-hating Democrat who did a political show. As we pointed out, his guests every night were like these Democrat hacks, like Stacey Abrams and Liz Warren and Tim Walz. These were his guys, his go-to guys. He didn't do anything funny. He didn't say anything funny, and his ratings reflected that. And he had a staff of 200 people and a budget of $100 million. And he was losing 40 to 50 million a year. How long was he supposed to be able to do that for? Like another decade? Was he supposed to be able to bleed the company of millions as long as Trump's in the White House? Well, they made a decision. They said, we can't keep doing this. We're ending the show. And they're giving him 10 months warning. So the next 10 months will just be Colbert ranting and raving about Trump, and the Democrats will love it. And then in May, he'll be a martyr. They'll say, it's cancel culture. I'm sorry, it's not cancel culture when you're costing your company $50 million a year. That's business. That's the free market. But these people don't understand that. They don't care about that. Democrats don't care. The media, his fellow hosts. But Colbert went on last night and had an answer for Trump. Trump obviously posted that it was a great thing that they fired this hack. And Colbert, everyone was eagerly awaiting Colbert's response. I will say this, it was stunning. It was brave. He's speaking truth to power. Keep in mind, he's got 200 people on his staff. And this is what they came up with. When everyone was watching, wondering what he would say, here's what they came up with. Go ahead.
On Friday, Donald Trump posted, I absolutely love that Colbert got fired. His talent was even less than his ratings.
How dare you, sir?
Would an untalented man be able to compose the following satirical witticism? Go yourself.
They just cheer, clap for that. Anyway, and he moves on. That's it. This is a real kind of seminal moment in late night comedy. I think they've been exposed. Again, it's just an extension of MSNBC or CNN. It's all it is. It's just Trump hatred and mock Trump and make fun of Trump. Here's the scene outside in New York City, outside the theater where Colbert does his awful show, a protest with signs, including 8647 signs, which is, kill Trump. There it is, 8647. Same crew that you see at all the protests, just homely old white ladies with messy gray hair and misshapen bodies out there. CBS sucks, they say. So again, their complaint is that they ended a show that was losing $50 million a year, and they did it just to placate Trump. Hell, the whole reason he was on is because they all hate Trump, and he would attack Trump. Honk if you think CBS they want to fire Trump and keep Colbert. Again, these people don't care when anyone in the, any hardworking person in the private sector loses his job, gets kicked out of the military, gets laid off. They don't care. But Colbert, who was making $15 million a year, they just can't handle that. All right, I made my list of the cringiest moments in late night comedy. Short list. It could go forever. Colbert could have his own list, but I haven't seen his show too often. So obviously, number one, Colbert dancing with the Pfizer syringes. We played that a few times. That is the cringiest thing ever. Number two would be Kate McKinnon singing Hallelujah after Hillary lost on Saturday Night Live, which again used to be a comedy show. But here we got number three. This is so bad. I think Jon Stewart is smart. I think he's much smarter than Kimmel or Colbert, and he has his moments. And when he sat down with Colbert and talked about the lab leak coming from the Wuhan lab, and Colbert was just shocked. That was a big moment. That was Colbert. I mean, that was Jon Stewart at least attempting to tell the truth for a change. But this is so bad. Last night, Jon Stewart reacted to his friend Colbert's firing. He brought out a choir, like a church choir of black singers, I guess to appear more diverse, because all the late night hosts are the same. There's no diversity. They're all middle-aged white guys who hate Trump and aren't funny. But this is so, I expected more from Jon Stewart. I expected more depth than this, but this is so cringy. Jon Stewart does a dance and just says F you to Trump. That's it. That's all. Watch.
Go fuck yourself! Wait, bring it down. Let's bring it down. Let it be quiet. Fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. Everybody! Fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself.
What is that? Again, there's a guy making millions. There's a guy who's got a huge staff. What was that? He just dances around and says, go F yourself. And the church choir sings the same thing. And some people think it's, blasphemy, but it didn't strike me. It just struck me as awful, just awful. So they're in the writer's room and that's what they came up with? That's what they go with. I'll dance around and just say, go F yourself over and over again. That funny? Did I miss something? Well, there's a weird dynamic here. All the guys who should be happy that Colbert's canceled because that's their competition, Fallon and Myers and John Oliver, Jon Stewart, They should be happy. This is supposed to be a competition. When I was in radio, I can't imagine going against support if your closest competitor in morning drive got fired. You wouldn't support them and say, "Oh, that's awful. Let me go show up and give them a hug." You'd be like, "This is a cutthroat business. This is good for us. This is good for our ratings." These clowns don't care. Again, they don't care about the quality of the show or the ratings or the revenue. They just want to stand together as leaders of the resistance, of the leading Trump haters out there. So last night's show, in the audience were Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers, John Oliver, and Adam Sandler. He's promoting Happy Gilmore too, so we'll give him a pass. But they showed up and cheered and clapped and fake laughed for their competition because their competition got canceled. This is just embarrassing. They're next. I mean, if you're going to use the same argument that you're losing millions and your ratings suck, why is Fallon and Myers still on the air? Why is Jimmy Kimmel still on the air? He also makes like $15 million a year. He is losing in the ratings to Colbert. So what's the argument for keeping him? I'm telling you, they better get ready because these other companies are going to look and say, why are we pissing away all this money on these awful shows? And they're ending the show. They're not bringing in someone else. Unfortunately, I don't think Hunter's going to take the reins and host the show. Nobody's going to. They're going to move on because they have killed the franchise. They have killed everything that Johnny Carson and Jay Leno and David Letterman built has been destroyed because these people are so consumed with hating the president that they forgot to say anything funny. They forgot to do anything funny. Just embarrassing, really is. All right, I want to get to this Russian hack thing, but I want to do this illegal alien story first because we've become numb to this. I know we talk about it every day, but Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Alejandro Mayorkas, they should all be tried for treason. We've gone over that. What they did to this country, letting in 15 to 20 million illegals with no vetting, no checking, just release them into the country, like tens of thousands. Some days it was over 10,000 a day. They didn't care that these were real bad people. These were criminals. These were monsters. And over the weekend in New York, as you probably heard, two illegals on a scooter. Let me get their names. This is never easy. Christian Iber Baroa, 22, and Miguel Francisco Mora Nunez, 21, robbed an off-duty Border Patrol agent in New York, in Washington Heights. He was sitting with his date on a rock by the water. Probably thought it was a nice romantic moment, interrupted by these two scumbags on a scooter. One of them gets off. This is Nunez, gets off with a gun, attempts to rob the CBP officer, picked the wrong guy. He shot him twice, once in the face, once in the arm. The officer responded by shooting the scumbag 3 times. And the guy, his partner in crime, that would be Baroa, puts him on the scooter like William Wallace thrown on the horse after to get away from the mob, and takes him and dumps him in the lobby of the hospital. Here he is taken off from the scene of the crime. They caught these two dirtbags pretty quickly, arrested them. And you have to pause. You have to stop to get your mind around it, that these are the people that Joe Biden intentionally, deliberately, strategically welcomed into your country. Two gangbanging, just monsters. Check this out. Miguel Francisco Mora Nunez was arrested at least 4 times in New York and allowed to walk. All they had to do was, when they arrested him and booked him, is call ICE. Boom, he's gone. And the border agent doesn't get shot in the face. The problem's solved. He's out of here, shipped back to Mexico. But no, he's facing 6 charges in Massachusetts. He robbed a jewelry store. He bound and gagged the jewelry store owner and stole $50,000 worth of merchandise in Massachusetts, in Leominster. That guy was allowed to just wreak havoc in New York for years. He came in 2022 under Joe Biden and just went on a life of crime, just on a crime spree. And he was arrested, booked, let go. Arrested, booked, let go. That's the policy of Democrats. That's the policy of Eric Adams in New York City, in Maura Healey in Massachusetts, Brandon Johnson in Chicago, Karen Bass in LA. That's where we are, where one party is aiding and abetting just the worst criminals and saying, they're here to work. They're here to clean your toilets. No, they're here to rob you, to shoot you in the face. And Democrats offer no, Ed Markey, my junior senator, yesterday, 2 days ago, comes out with a statement saying they're mistreating illegal aliens at Alligator Alcatraz. They're not feeding them right. It's hot. They're mosquitoes. And I'm thinking, we're talking about people like this, criminals, just hardened criminals. And we're supposed to feel bad that there are mosquitoes. This guy is heading there. This Nunez guy who shot the cop in the face. Are we supposed to feel bad if he has a ham sandwich for dinner? That's another complaint they had. Cold ham sandwiches for dinner. How about this guy? Illinois. Let me get this story because it's just mind-boggling to me that this is the policy of Democrats. This is how they treat illegals, which is, of course, better than treating American citizens. An undocumented immigrant charged in this from WGN in Chicago. ICE agents arrested an undocumented immigrant after he was charged with concealing a missing woman's body in mid-April, leading to confusion on how local and federal authorities will proceed with his prosecution. They arrested 52-year-old Jose Luis Mendoza Gonzalez in the U.S. illegally, arrested by ICE officers in Chicago Saturday. Well, he had a woman in a trash can for 3 months. She was decapitated, and he, according to the charges, abused her body. He was arrested and let go with no bail, no cash bail. So he was let go. The woman, 37-year-old Megan Boss, was missing in March. They found her in April in the possession of this illegal alien who wasn't handed over to ICE, wasn't deported, was let to walk without bail. They weren't sure what to charge him with. Abusing a decapitated corpse. Why would you ever want someone like this in your country? I know Hunter thinks he's going to clean your toilet, but this is who they let in. There was no checking his record at the border, just allowed in. And now we have a decapitated young woman in a barrel in his backyard. Sick stuff. All right, before we go, good news. Pam Bondi is going to talk to Ghislaine Maxwell. That's good. You know why? Because of pressure from you and me, because MAGA wasn't happy with the cover-up of the Epstein files. So they're changing course, and Bondi's going to speak to Maxwell, and maybe she will testify, and that will be wild. But here's another thing I wanted to get to. Obviously, yesterday we went in depth about the scandal, perhaps the biggest scandal we've ever seen in D.C., the changing of the intelligence assessment at the direction of Barack Obama when he learned that there was no election interference from Russia. He wanted to poison the Trump administration, to undermine the incoming Trump administration. So in early December 2016, he had them change the intelligence assessment to lie, to say Russia interfered. And now here's what the media is doing, if they cover it at all. And for the most part, they're not touching it, even though it is a massive scandal involving our intelligence agents, the president, the vice president, and as Tulsi Gabbard called it, a treasonous conspiracy. Sounds like kind of a big deal, and it is, but the media is doing their job. They're going to lie to you and say, and I've seen it, they're going to say, they never said Russia hacked the election. They just said there was an attempt to interfere. And they just reported what the intelligence community said, as if it's not their job to try to hold them accountable and to call them out when they're lying. And we knew they were lying. They all knew. Everyone knew. Barack, Biden, Clapper, Brennan, Comey, they all knew, and they lied because they hated Trump so much. Well, Trump posted this yesterday, and it's good because he's right, and it's big. He writes, Obama himself manufactured the Russia hoax. Crooked Hillary, Sleepy Joe, and numerous others participated in this. The crime of the century, irrefutable evidence, a major threat to our country. That is all true. Obama knew, and Mike Johnson said he wouldn't hesitate to call him before Congress, and I hope he does. But we have to keep in mind that they couldn't do this without the media. A Republican couldn't do that, couldn't do what Obama did, because the media would have held him to account. They would have investigated, dug deep, called their sources. But when it's a Democrat, they don't do it. When it's Obama, their messiah, they aren't going to do it. They're going to tell you they never said Russia hacked the election. They're going to say they just reported that there was an investigation. There was some intelligence that they attempted to interfere. They bought Facebook ads. They're all lying. It's what they do. They lie in defense of their guy, Barack Obama, and their party, the Democrats. Here's just an incredible montage, compilation of all the times Democrats in the media told you flat out, definitively, Russia hacked the election. We have to hold these people, not just Obama and all these slime balls in the intelligence community. The media has to be held accountable. Everyone should see this. Everyone should retweet it and repost it and send it to your friends, because these are the people who took part in the cover-up. They're in the media, and they're just dishonest Democrat operatives. Check this out.
Russia hacking the election to elect Trump is the end of our democracy. Votes were definitely affected. Russia hacked the election to tilt it to Mr. Trump.
The Russians definitively hacked the election.
Russia did hack the election.
No doubt. The Russians hacked the election.
Yes. Russia hacked the election.
In fact, Russia hacked the election.
President-elect Donald Trump still not sounding convinced that Russia hacked the election.
The president does not want to come to terms with the fact that the Russians hacked the election.
President Trump says he still wonders if the Russians hacked the election.
If you can get him to accept that Russia hacked the election, see if you can get him to accept who won the Civil War.
If he admits it, it casts a shadow on his victory over Hillary Clinton.
Russia hacked the election. Russia hacked the election.
Russia hacked the election.
Russia hacked the election.
Let's be clear, Russia hacked the election.
Definitively, Russia hacked the election, and Russia is doing it again now.
Election-related cyber hacking.
Cyber hacking of U.S. elections.
Cyber hacking of the election.
Russia was cyber hacking the election.
Russia was cyber hacking the election.
The CIA, the FBI, NSA.
All of these intelligence organizations,
17 intelligence agencies,
all conclude that Russia hacked the election.
If we find out that Donald Trump just theoretically was colluding with Russia while they were hacking the election, that is completely impeachable.
This dossier alleged a conspiracy between the Trump campaign and the Russian effort to hack the election.
The director of national intelligence, the head of the National Security Agency, the head of the FBI, all of these intelligence experts saying Russia hacked the election.
The FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the former director of national intelligence, James Clapper, I mean, they've all said this. So to believe that that's wrong, you have to believe they're all involved in an elaborate conspiracy to get Donald Trump, which seems a little far-fetched to me.
A little far-fetched for you. That's CNN. That is everybody in the mainstream media. And they didn't say, they attempted to interfere in effect, which happens all the time. They said hacked, which means cyber hacking, which means they hacked into the computers and changed the vote. That was always made up. That dossier we knew was fiction. They knew it. At one point, everybody knew it. Obama knew it. Everybody knew it. And they just kept lying. And that's what they're going to continue to do, because that's what they do when their guys are on the ropes. They just keep lying. And they would have gotten away with it if Kamala had won or Joe Biden had stayed upright and somehow won re-election. They would have gotten away with it. But this is going to get worse before it gets better, because as Tulsi said, there are many, many whistleblowers ready to step forward and talk about this treasonous conspiracy. And we'll be here for it. And we'll be here for the next Hunter Biden interview. I'm hoping it'll be today. Maybe he'll end up going on like Newsmax and Fox News and doing some right-wing stuff and really, getting crazy, I think. As long as he can cook up that crack, he'll be ready to go. But that will do it for today.
We'll tell the difference between him and being sober and on crack, apparently.
Right. I mean, it's better for you than alcohol. You know what? I'm having trouble picking out my favorite clip, but that might be it. Here's why you should do crack. They get rid of all the impurities, and it's better for you than alcohol. I'm not sure Hunter's the spokesman for that you want, but maybe NBC or CNN will do a story today on the benefits of crack cocaine, according to an expert, Hunter Biden.
He definitely has his doctorate in crack making.
The other video that's going viral is him up. It was on is it Christmas or Thanksgiving, up on the balcony at the White House, just coked out of his mind, just sweating and pacing, and that's when he said he was sober. And it is the picture of the drug of cocaine and what cocaine can do to you. That's what he does. Hell, I think he was probably on cocaine for this interview, and he'll be on cocaine for the next interview. And it's going to get good. But we'll leave it there for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'm Gerry Callahan. This is The Callahan Show, and we'll do it again tomorrow.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the... And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do?